What is up guys, Jarv here, and we're back again with a Destiny 2 video. Now in today's video we have a full guide to how you can obtain the last word now in Destiny 2. So we'll be covering every single step, breaking that down and providing hints and tips along the way. So if you find the video useful, be sure to leave a rating, and if you are new to the channel and want to see more Destiny content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But without further delay, let's jump in. So to kick this one off, we just need to head over to the Drifter, and he has the cleansing, which is the first step of the draw quest. Now with this step we need to defeat Hive with solar damage, collect Hive tablets, 75 of those, and defeat 3 Hive bosses. There's a different couple of ways you can approach this step. First off, I jumped over to Escalation Protocol on Mars, and as you can see the Hive tablets drop quite freely, especially when using Jotun, the fusion rifle. The alternative to Escalation Protocol would be to jump over to the Lost Sector, the north side of Mars, and in here you'll have plenty of Hive activity, as you can see, and also the boss as well, so you can hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Now here I have switched to Sunshot, so if you grab this out of your collection, this is an excellent weapon for getting those precision kills, and also helps with the solar damage and the solar blast as well. So in this Lost Sector you can repeat this over and over again. It takes literally 90 seconds or so to clear your way through the Lost Sector, clearing ads and taking out the boss at the end. And if you want to skip the boss encounter, if you've killed him enough times and you just need to kill Hive, then if you get to the boss and then let the thrall kill you 1 or 2 at the end, it will spawn you back towards the stairs by the exit, and with that you can exit and enter the Lost Sector very quickly and very efficiently to complete that step. So once you complete all the objectives for this step of the quest, you will receive a cleansed artifact. Now with this step we simply need to head back over to the Drifter, and he'll present us with the next step of this quest. As we know, the last word is a fantastic PvP weapon, and therefore it doesn't go without a PvP step. So the next step of this quest is called the Temptation. Now this requires us to get Guardian kills in the Crucible, and it's very much akin to the original Thorn bounty back in Destiny 1. So what this means then is that kills will advance your progress, but deaths from other Guardians will impede your progress. Now how it works is for every kill that you make, you will gain 2%, and for every death that you have, you'll lose 1%. So you effectively need a 0.5 KDA on average to be able to complete this step of the quest. Now a lot of the frustration I felt, aside from it being Crucible, was the time with trying to get this video out for you guys. But taking that out of the equation and playing with friends and just being smart about the encounters that you make, when to push, when not to push, and even just getting hits on other Guardians and not necessarily getting the final blow will still count towards, as assists do count towards this step for you. Now as I said, playing with friends definitely helps, but eventually once you meet all the objectives you'll get to the next step, and this is called the Damnation. So here we need to go to a Hive ritual and basically stop that from taking place. Now this ritual is located over on Titan, so if you head over there you'll see it located on the map over towards the rig. So once you've loaded in, you'll need to head over onto the right hand side, and there'll be a little marker by the boxes which you'll need to initiate this particular quest. And once you jump in, it will take you over to the Cargo Bay Lost Sector. Now this is a slightly alternative version of that Lost Sector. Now towards the back of the room, instead of an ogre, you have a protected acolyte, but also some wizards. Now in order to remove the shield for the acolytes, you need to take out the wizards, and then you'll be able to do damage to that particular boss. Now it is time limited though, so if you don't take out the acolyte quick enough, then more wizards will spawn and you'll need to repeat that process. But once you take out the wizards and take out the acolyte, that will basically complete this step. This encounter all in all didn't feel too difficult. I believe this encounter is only a 500 encounter, so it won't feel overly difficult, but as we move on further into the quest, things do start to ramp up and we start to get to the 650 style encounters. But once you wrap up the room, you'll get a new Jagged Purpose. Now this part of the quest simply requires us to go back and visit the Drifter, and upon returning to him, he will grant us with the next step of this quest. Now this next step is called Sullied Light. For me personally, I felt this was the longest part of the quest line all in all. It took me probably around an hour to about 90 minutes. Now the reason behind this is because this step of the quest has 4 separate objectives. So we need to collect etched crystals, we need to get Crucible medals and then 25 of those. Hive larvae, we need to collect 50 of those, and 3 heroic hive rituals, we need to complete those as well. Now if you're anything like me, you've probably had enough of Crucible up to this point, so I left that till last. So we're going to kick this off with doing the hive larvae and the etched crystals. Now you can basically return to the lost sector back on Mars, and you need to get precision kills on hive in order to get an RNG drop of the larvae. So if you just rinse and repeat the lost sector, you will eventually get the 50 that you need. But by also defeating the boss, you could also get the etched crystal, which is something that you also need for this step of the quest. Now the reason this lost sector is so great is A, it's really fast to do, you can do it in about 90 seconds to 2 minutes tops, but also it's a wanted boss, and that's really key for this step of the quest, because if the boss isn't a wanted escapee, then it won't count and you won't get an etched crystal. So take your time and rinse and repeat through this. One recommendation that I do have is that while you're rinsing and repeating this lost sector, keep a real close eye on your map and keep an eye out for those hive ritual public events. One will spawn on the south side of Mars and the other over on the rig on Titan. Now these can take some time to spawn, so it's really key that you keep a close eye on these and try and jump into them in between these lost sectors whenever you can. So as you can see there, we've got the etched crystal by completing that boss and taking him out. So all in all, you'll need to repeat that lost sector 15 times in order to kill and get enough etched crystals. Once you've completed that and got enough larvae, you can jump into your public events. As you can see here, these don't take very long to do at all, and you'll need to repeat this 3 times. If you are solo, you might be fortunate enough to be able to double dip as well. As you can see here, I'm 2 out of 3. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to double dip on this occasion, but fingers crossed you can. Now the final step is unfortunately back into the Crucible. Now in order to do this, we need to be focusing on 2 particular medals. Now these are Blood for Blood. This is the medal that you get by defeating a Guardian that's just defeated a teammate, and Best Served Cold, and this is when you get revenge on a Guardian that took you out. So those are the 2 specific requirements. You don't have to get a set amount of either, but both will count towards your progress, and you need to get 25 in total of a combination of those 2. Now if you are at this part of the quest now, you are most definitely past the harder part of the PvP element of this quest. This one you cannot lose progress like the first step, so you're only ever going to make progress forward. It's a combination of using either Mayhem or anything in quick play. I mean, Mayhem is available this week and is a more enjoyable game mode, I feel, for trying to achieve these medals. So for this step, spatial awareness is absolutely key. You need to be aware of your teams and your surroundings, and you want to try and stay close to your team as well and get revenge on any Guardians that take any of your teammates out, and get a quick medal where you can. And what I find as well in Mayhem is you often trade a lot, and you also find that you get the Best Served Cold medals in those instances. But once you complete that, you'll get Sorrow's Road, and with this step again we need to go back and visit the Drifter. Now once we arrive, he will present us with the next step, and this is called the Conversation. Now this is a brand new quest located over on the Tangle Shore at the very south side of the map, so definitely use a waypoint there to help you navigate your way, and this is an entirely new section of the Tangled Shore. So once you find yourself inside, you'll come across 3 wizards, and they're surrounding a crystal. Now these wizards are quite tanky. I believe this is a 650 encounter, and one which you will need to do on your own. So most definitely take your time, but once you take out the crystal, it will open up the ground below, and you'll be able to progress to the next step of this mission. Now when you drop down, you'll need to now take up and stop the Weapon Master. Now by standing on these plates, he will spawn in front of you, as you can see, but it'll also present you with a full-on draw animation. Now what you need to do is shoot the hand as soon as it turns blue, and that will prevent him from shooting you, and he will kill you in one shot if you allow him to. So it's a literally one-on-one high noon style shootout, and that's how you go about defeating this boss. Now there are 3 separate encounters all in all that you have with the boss. Now in this area you are suppressed if you look on the left hand side, and this means you don't regen any health. The only way you can do that is by defeating ads, and they drop those restorative light orbs. So you need to pick those up, as you can see that I'm about to do here, and that will restore your health. Now once you've cleared out the ads, you can run over to the second plate. Now in this instance you'll get one of his heralds spawning alongside him. Now the way you need to shoot these is the way they spawn in, so for this occasion it was on the right side first and then the left. it will always be the way that they spawn in. So if it spawned on the left first and then the right, you'd have to shoot the left one first. So once you're past phase 2, again you need to clear out a few ants. These are simply just thrall and a few curse thralls, so they don't pose too much trouble. But once you have taken them out, you can head over to the left hand side just here, and just over the hill here towards the bottom and by the bridge, you'll see the third and final plate. Now, like the previous encounters, you'll get heralds also spawn, but on this occasion you now have 2 heralds alongside the boss. So as you can see, spawned on the right first, then the very left, and finally the boss in the middle. So again, you need to draw out the last word and then go from right to left to middle. So that's how it spawned for me on that occasion. They do change up though, so it may be different for you guys, but the thing I will stress, and I will stress the most, is that you will have to shoot them in the order that they spawn in front of you. But once you successfully defeated the boss, you are now the proud owner of the last word in Destiny 2. So if we take a quick look, we have Fanfire as the main exotic perk. This is followed by Corkscrew Rifling, Accurized Rounds, Hipfire Grip and Textured Grip. So as you can see, it looks as OG as always and as beautiful as always. You will need to head back to the Drifter though. He does have a exotic part of the quest. This is just some dialogue which wraps out the whole experience for us, but will most likely lead us into another exotic quest when we hit the season of the Drifter. But there we have it guys. I hope you found this video and guide useful. If you have, be sure to leave a rating. If you are new to the channel and want to see more Destiny content, then be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. I'm going to jump back into the game as always guys, and I will catch you again very soon. Peace out.